All right, today we're going to look at solving linear systems using the elimination method with adding and subtracting. You should take notes on this, try the examples as we go through them, and then there's a few questions to try at the end for homework. I'm going to check tomorrow to see that you did the notes as well as the homework, so please make sure you're trying these. These are the basic steps when you are solving a system using the elimination method. You're going to get the same answer whether you use the graphing method, whether you use substitution that we talked about before, or elimination. So it's up to you which one you want to use. Today we're going to focus on this one. Step one is to add or subtract the equations to eliminate the variable with corresponding coefficients. So you're trying to add or subtract to either get rid of the x or get rid of the y. Solve the resulting equation for the other variable, and then substitute it back in, similar to what you did with substitution, from step one into either the original equation to find the value or one of the original equations, it doesn't matter which one, and then check your solution. If you didn't get this all down, pause the video and write it down, please. All right, so the first example we're going to look at is right here, and this one we have 2x plus 3y equals 11 and negative 2x plus 5y equals 13. You can see right here that they all line up. We have 2x, 3y, 5y, and then our constants. Because the 2x, and here there's a negative 2x, because they have opposite signs, we are going to actually want to add these in order to eliminate them. So we're going to start by adding the equations to eliminate a variable. When we do that, 2x plus negative 2x is 0, so it goes away. 3y plus 5y is 8y, 11 plus 13 is 24. We now divide each side by 8. We're left with y is 3. Now we need to figure out what x is. So what we're going to do is move down to this step. We are going to plug in that 3 that we just found for y into one of our original equations. It doesn't matter which one. And then we are going to solve for x. So 3 times 3 is 9. You subtract 9 on this side and on this side, and you get 2. And 2 divided by 2 from over here is 1. So our solution is 1, 0. Or 1, 3, excuse me. You can plug these values back into the original equations to make sure they're right. Let's take a look at another one. Before we do that, let's talk for a second about how you decide whether to add or subtract. If the variables, the corresponding variables, so the x's or the y's, have opposite signs, you add. If they have the same sign, you subtract. So notice here, we have a positive and a negative, so we add. Down here, they're all positive, so we will subtract. All right, let's take a look. So first thing you want to do is decide add or subtract. They have the same sign, so we should subtract. Subtract the equations to eliminate a variable. When you subtract here, we're left with negative 1x, or just negative x, negative 1x, plus 3y minus positive 3y is 0, is 4. We're going to have to divide each side by negative 1. We get x is negative 4. We are now going to take that negative 4 and plug it back into one of the equations. We chose the first one here. We plug that in for x. 4 times negative 4 is a negative 16. We add negative 16 over here to give us 18, and then 18 divided by 3 is 6. So our solution is negative 4, 6. All right, I'm going to have you try one now. Take a look at this problem, work it out, and when you are ready, try and figure out which answer is correct. Make sure you are deciding opposite signs, add or subtract. Since the signs are opposite, you should add. I'll let you decide here what your answer is. It's one of these. When you're ready, here's another one. First thing you want to decide is should you add or subtract? Same signs, so you should subtract because you want to try and eliminate a variable. So we subtract 5x minus 5x, we get 0. Try and figure out your answer here. You'll know it's right by plugging it back in and seeing if you get the 8 and the 4. After you've tried this one, let's take a look down here. Now for this one, sometimes you have to rearrange the terms because they don't put them all in order. So for example, we have 8x minus 4y is negative 4. This is in standard form. So we want to move this 3x to this side so that way they're in order. So to do that, let's move these up so you can see it. To do that, we're going to subtract 3x on each side. So we're left with negative 3x plus 4y is 14. Now they all line up. Now you can decide, because they're opposite signs, we're going to add the equations. We get a 5x here, negative 4y plus 4y is 0. Negative 4 plus 14 is 10. Divide each side by 5, we get an answer of 2. If you keep going, you can now substitute that 2 back into one of the original equations. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 14 is 20. And then 20 divided by 4 is 5. So your solution is 2, 5. All right, last one I'm going to have you try. Again, opposite signs, so decide add or subtract. After you get an answer, plug in your x and y and see if you're right. Last example to try. Do we need to rearrange the terms? You shouldn't have to. The x's and the y's and the constants all line up. Now decide, should you add or subtract? Because all the signs are the same, meaning we have positive x's, negative y's, we are going to want to subtract. So we can have 7x minus 7x, so we eliminate that 7x. Make sure when you subtract a negative 3, it's actually going to be like adding 3y to this negative 2y. So keep that in mind when you solve. After you find an answer, plug them back in. Finally, this is your homework. I'll move this out of the way in just a second, but I want you to be able to read it. This is your homework. Show your work. Plug your answers back in to make sure they're correct. Use the elimination method to work on these. Tomorrow in class, we are going to spend some time practicing all 3 methods that we have now learned to solving systems. And there will be one more method that we work on this week.